It's nice to be back.
Lijepo je biti opet s vama.
Home.
Od kuće.
In these next couple of weeks, I feel like this is the time where we really start to set our routine for the year.
U sljedećih nekoliko tjedana postavljamo rutinu za godinu koja je pred nama.
Summer's over and we're getting back into full swing with work and with school.
Gotovo, vraćamo se u poslu i školi.
I don't know what your summer was like, whether it was crazy or slow.
Ne znam kako je bilo vaše ljeto, je li bilo ludo ili je bilo dosadno?
Or no different,
ili
just the same routine.
Ili uvijek ista rutina.
But I feel like once we get going with things, once work is set and the kids' schedule set,
ja osjećam kad se vratimo u rutinu, kad se vratimo na posao i djeca u školu,
and I'm relating to family and relating to other relationships and
i kad sam unutar obitelji i u drugim odnosima,
trying to find a little downtime and some entertainment.
Kad se pokušam odmoriti ili zabaviti,
Figured out my involvement with church.
I organizirati koliko ću biti uključen u crkvu.
And the routine really just kind of takes over, and then week by week it just kind of pulls me along.
Onda ta rutina na neki način me vuče tjedan za tjedan.
And before I know it, months have passed.
A prije nego što sam toga svjestan, prođu mjeseci.
And it's so easy for me to just allow my relationship with God as I'm rolling through this routine to kind of slip.
I lako mi je, dakle, idući kroz tu rutinu, da dopustim da moj odnos s Bogom nekako padne.
And instead of God being that central relationship that defines everything else,
I da umjesto Bog bude ta glavni odnos koji sve definira,
where it should be, where God is in the center, and through God I'm looking at work, and through God I'm studying, and through God I'm experiencing my relationships with family.
Bog trebao biti, znači kroz Boga gledam na sve svoje odnose, na posao, na obitelj, na odnose.
In that regular routine, it's so easy
I u toj regularnoj mojoj rutini
for it
lako
to
je
become study, work, family, friends, God.
da se dogodi tako da bude, ne znam, proučavanje, obitelj, posao, prijatelji, Bog.
And this was the reality that Haggai and Zechariah were facing in Jerusalem.
I to je stvarnost s kojom su se suočili Hagaj i Zaharija u Jeruzalemu.
There was a lot of excitement when the refugees first returned.
Bilo je puno usvita kad su se izgnanici vratili.
And they were so excited that the first thing they did was to start to rebuild the temple of God.
Bili su toliko uzbuđeni i prva stvar koju su počeli raditi je ponovno izgraditi hram.
And God was right there in the center guiding everything.
I Bog je bio u centru i svime je upravljao, sve je vodio.
And then they experienced opposition.
A onda se dogodilo da su im se ljudi opirali.
And they experienced need.
I imali su različite potrebe.
And they needed food, and they needed shelter, and people were opposing the building.
Trebali su hranu, trebali su sklonište i imali su protivnike koji su se protivili izgradnji hrama.
And they kind of got bumped out of building.
I onda se ih je to pomaknulo u toj namjeri da grade.
And they got into this routine of life of just trying to get by week.
I sami su ušli u rutinu preživljavanja, dakle tjedan za tjednom.
And the foundation of the temple of God just was left there on the side.
A temelji za hram ostali su po strani.
And it's not like they turned to idols or they'd all become atheists.
I nije da su se okrenuli idolopoklonstvu ili postali ateisti.
They still believed in God and they were praying to God.
Dalje su vjerovali u Boga i molili su mu se.
But a week passed and month passed and years passed.
Prolazili su tjedni, mjeseci, godine.
And the foundation just sat there.
A temelj je tamo stajao.
And then Haggai and Zechariah
Onda su Hagaj i Zaharija
began preaching.
počeli propovijedati.
And they began saying, if God is really central to your life,
I rekli su, ako je Bog stvarno centar vašeg života,
you've got to be asking the question, how can we build His temple?
morate pitati pitanje kako ćemo izgraditi njegov hram.
And I think that's a direct challenge to us.
I ja mislim da je to direktan izazov nam.
We read it just a minute ago from Ephesians chapter 2.
Malo prije smo čitali iz Efežanima 2.
And in the New Covenant age,
I u vrijeme Novog Zavjeta,
the temple of God,
hram Božji
is not a building of stone,
nije zgrada od kamena,
it's a building of people.
već je zgrada od ljudi.
And it's being built up on the cornerstone, which is Christ
I
Jesus.
gradi se na zaglavnom kamenu koji je Isus Krist.
And Jesus died to bring us together into this temple, into this community.
Isus je umro da bi nas doveo u tu zajednicu, u taj hram.
And we're still on earth
I mi smo još uvijek na zemlji,
so that we can participate in building this temple.
kako bismo sudjelovali u izgradnji tog hrama.
That in some way we can serve or help out in the care and the growth of the temple of
I
God,
da na
which is the
neki
church of
način
God.
možemo sudjelovati u izgradnji ili u brizi za taj hram Božji.
And so if God really is central to my life,
I ako je Bog stvarno esencijalan za moj život,
and I'm experiencing everything through relationship with Him,
i ako na sve gledam kroz moj odnos s njim,
I've got to be asking,
moram se pitati
what's my part in building the temple?
što je moja uloga u izgradnji toga hrama.
Like what role or what gift or what service can I have
Koja uloga, koji dar, koja služba koju ja mogu obaviti.
in caring for
U brizi za,
and teaching and serving
u poučavanju ili službi,
and building the maturity and the care of this place
u izgradnji zrelosti i u brizi za ovo.
and inviting other people into it.
I u tome da pozivam druge ljude u to.
And it can be easy to be overwhelmed with that idea.
To nam se može činiti preveliko za nas.
What can I do?
Što ja mogu?
It's not just a problem of getting in routine and not thinking about it. Even when I start thinking about it, it's a little overwhelming.
I nije samo problem u tome da smo u rutini, već i kad počnemo razmišljati o tome, čini nam se to preplavljuće.
And I think that's because we feel small
I to je zato što se osjećamo malenima.
for two different reasons.
Iz dva razloga.
I feel small when we look at our culture.
Osjećamo se malenima kad gledamo na kulturu oko nas.
And we're supposed to have this vision, desire for the Church of God to grow in Zagreb.
I trebali bismo imati želju i viziju za rast Božje crkve u Zagrebu.
And yet there are hundreds of thousands of people in Zagreb
A opet u Zagrebu su stotine tisuća ljudi
who just don't care,
kojih nije briga
or who are even actually opposed to the idea.
ili koji se protive toj ideji.
And there's all these people who are satisfied with just kind of a ritual, a couple times a year, giving God lip service.
I veliki broj ljudi koji su zadovoljni ritualima i da nekoliko puta godišnje se Bogu poklone.
And then there's this whole other group of people who've decided God doesn't exist.
Ima i druga grupa ljudi koji su odlučili da Bog uopće ne postoji.
Or if He does exist, that He's some abstract, far-off force or thought that you can't really have a relationship
Ili
with.
ako i postoji, onda je previše apstraktan i udaljen nekog s kim se ne može imati odnos.
So there's ritual Christianity, traditional Christianity on one side, and then there's a rejection of God on the other.
Dakle, imamo nekako ritualističko, tradicionalno kršćanstvo na jednoj strani i imamo totalno odbijanje Boga na drugoj.
And out of those 100,000s,
I od tih stotina tisuća,
how much are we?
koliko smo mi?
We're small.
Mi smo mali.
And not only that,
I ne samo to,
but I'm small.
nego ja sam mali.
Like, you've got to work, you've got family, you've got friends, you've got to rest at some point.
I moraš i raditi, imaš obitelj i prijatelje, nekad se moraš i odmoriti.
So how much time do you actually have?
Koliko zapravo onda vremena imaš?
How much money do you actually have?
Koliko novca imaš?
How much gifting do you have?
Koliko si nadaren?
How much knowledge do you have?
Koliko imaš znanja?
So what can you really give?
I šta zapravo možeš dati?
So you start thinking about the huge tasks
I onda razmišljaš o tom ogromnom zadatku
and your small
i
resources
svojim malim sredstvima
and just never get started.
i nikad niš ne počneš.
It just doesn't seem like you can make any difference.
Jer ti se čini da zapravo nikakvu promjenu ne možeš donijeti.
That's how the people in Jerusalem felt.
I tako su se osjećali ljudi u Jeruzalemu.
This small torn down city
Taj mali, razrušeni grad
on the outer fringe of the Persian Empire.
na rubovima Perzijskog carstva,
The crops were going badly.
nije bilo dobrih prinosa,
They were not wealthy.
nisu bili bogati,
And they're supposed to build this huge temple.
a trebali su izgraditi taj ogroman Božji hram.
And I just couldn't get started
I nisu mogli početi,
because they couldn't see a way to finish.
jer nisu mogli vidjeti kraj.
And in chapter 4:10 of Zechariah, Zechariah says,
u 4. poglavlju 10. stih Zaharija kaže:
Do not despise the day of small beginnings.
Nemojte prezirati dane malenih skromnih početaka.
And you're surrounded,
Jer ste okruženi
and every culture around you is opposed to the idea of you building a temple.
i svaka kultura oko vas protivi se toj ideji da izgradite Božji
You have
hram.
no wall to protect you.
Imate zid da vas
You're vulnerable.
štiti, ranjivi ste,
You're not wealthy.
odnosno nemate zid.
You don't even have your own needs met.
Niste bogati, ni vlastite potrebe ne možete zadovoljiti,
Don't despise that.
ali nemojte to prezirati.
Because don't just look at you and your circumstances.
Nemojte gledati samo na sebe i na svoje okolnosti,
Look at God.
gledajte na Boga.
And yet it's not going to be the temple like the temple before.
I ipak neće to biti hram kakav je prije bio.
You know, all the old guys are crying because they remember.
I svi oni stari ljudi plaču jer se sjećaju.
They remember the empire of David and they remember the temple of Solomon.
Sjećaju se Davidovog kraljevstva i sjećaju se Solomonovog hrama.
And they look at that foundation and they realize this is not going to be a mega temple.
I oni gledaju na taj temelj i jasno im je da to neće biti takav
It's going to
veliki
be
hram.
an average temple
Biće neki prosječan.
compared to Solomon's temple.
U usporedbi sa Salomonom.
And Zechariah, do not despise that.
A Zaharija im kaže nemojte prezirati to.
This is where God has you.
Ovo je gdje vas Bog sad
At this
trenutno drži
time,
i u ovo vrijeme,
in this culture,
u ovoj kulturi.
this is God's plan.
To je Božji plan.
God is central.
Bog je centralan.
You got to be asking,
I morate pitati
what's my role?
koja je moja uloga.
What small thing can I do? What small thing can I offer
Koju malu stvar ja mogu učiniti, koju malu stvar ja mogu ponuditi
so that together we build this place?
da zajedno možemo izgraditi to mjesto.
As we get into the prophecy of Zechariah, we're gonna look at God.
I kad krenemo u njegovo proročanstvo, gledat ćemo na Boga.
That's maybe the one point of Zechariah. Keep your eyes fixed on God.
I jedna od njegovih stvari, njegovih poruka je držite svoje oči na Bogu.
That's what allows us not to despise the value of small contribution.
Jer to nam omogućuje da onda ne preziremo vrijednost tih malih stvari koje možemo učiniti.
And it keeps us from fearing all the negative circumstance and opposition.
I isto tako nam pomaže da se ne bojimo tih negativnih protivljenja i opozicije.
Keep our eyes fixed on God.
Ako držimo oči na Bogu,
And in Zechariah, that's going to include keeping your eyes fixed on God and understanding the past, the present, and the future.
a to za Zahariju znači da ćemo, ako držimo oči na Bogu, da ćemo razumjeti i sadašnjost, ali i prošlost i budućnost.
So let's jump right in. The part on the past is only the first 6 verses.
Znači, dio koji se odnosi na prošlost je samo prvih 6 stihova.
So he's calling them to remember what happened to your father.
On ih poziva da se sjete onoga što se dogodilo njihovim roditeljima.
So just the first verse 2, 3, and a little bit of 4.
Znači 2, 3 i dio 4.
The Lord was very angry with your fathers, therefore say to them, thus says the Lord of hosts, return to me, declares the Lord of hosts, that I may return to you, says the Lord of hosts. Do not be like your fathers.
Znači, Jahve se teško razgnjevio na oce vaše, zatim im reci, ovako govori Jahve nad vojskama, vratite se meni i ja ću se vratiti vama, riječ je Jahve nad vojskama. Ne budite poput svojih otaca.
A long time ago, your fathers allowed God to slip from the center.
Dakle, prije puno vremena vaši su roditelji ili oci dopustili Bogu da se makne iz te sredine.
I guess God never slips from the center. I guess we're the ones who slip.
Bog se nikad ne makne iz sredine, mi smo ti koji ga maknemo.
But for your fathers, God was on the side.
Znači, za vašim ocima Bog je bio sa strane.
And he became so much on the side
I postao je toliko gurnut u stranu
that they paid lip service to him.
da su mu samo ustima davali slavu.
They went to the temple occasionally. They thought if they would fast occasionally, they could get God to do stuff for them.
Ponekad bi otišli u hram, ponekad bi postili kad su mislili da bi Bog mogao nešto za njih učiniti.
But they were seeking all these other ways to get control and to get significance.
Ali su na mnoge druge načine pokušavali kontrolirati situaciju i osjećati se značajnima.
And God was just this little God on the side.
A Bog je bio neki mali Bog sa strane.
And the prophets called, return to your
A
God.
proroci su govorili vratite se svome Bogu.
And the fathers didn't.
Ali oni nisu.
thus the exile.
I zato se dogodilo progonstvo.
And now you've come back, this first remnant,
Sad ste se vi vratili natrag, taj ostatak.
and you may not realize
I
it,
možda to ne shvaćate,
but you've slipped.
ali i vi ste se poskliznuli.
And God is important to you, but He's not central.
I Bog vam je važan, ali nije vam centralan.
You got into your routine.
Ušli ste u svoju rutinu,
God's over here.
a Bog je tu negdje.
Return.
Vratite se.
Remember where you came from.
Sjetite se otkud ste došli.
And I ask you that. Where did you come from?
I ja vas pitam, otkud ste došli?
What were your fathers and mothers like?
Kakvi su bili vaši roditelji?
What were their fathers and mothers
Kakvi
like?
su bili njihovi roditelji?
What were their fathers and mothers like?
I njihovi roditelji.
And at what point did you realize that Jesus Christ is central to everything?
I kad ste u kojem trenutku ste shvatili da je Isus Krist centralan za sve?
And you came to Him and said, you are the center of my life.
I došli ste mu i rekli ste mu, ti si centar mog života.
The Father is the center of the universe.
Otac je centar svemira.
And the natural state of us
A naše prirodno stanje
is to slip away from that.
je da se poskliznemo, da
So
se maknemo od toga.
We need this constant call every day.
Znači, treba nam stalno, svakodnevni poziv,
Okay, return.
vratite se,
Return.
vratite se.
God is in the center.
Bog je u centru
Now approach the day.
i sad krenite u dan.
So let's look at our past and remember where we come.
Pogledamo prošlost, sjetimo se otkud smo došli.
Now we also need to see the present through our relationship with God.
Kroz odnos s Bogom trebamo vidjeti i sadašnjost.
And that's going to take us through the first half of the book, through chapter 8.
I to nas vodi do osmog pogleda kroz.
And there are two sections here,
I tu su dva dijela.
and they're both organized chiastically.
I oba su
So there's
hijastične strukture.
There's high structure here.
Znači, jako je bitna struktura.
The first section is chapter 1 through chapter 6.
Prvi dio je od 1 do 6.
And it's going to be 8 visions.
I to je 8 vizija.
So literally, in each vision, the prophet is seeing something.
Znači, doslovno u svakoj viziji on vidi nešto.
And you can ask, why all these weird visions in the
I
Bible?
možete se pitati zašto te čudne vizije u
Doesn't
Bibliji?
that just confuse things?
Nije li to zbunjujuće?
Well, sort of yes.
Pa je.
But it also makes it very easy to remember.
Ali isto je tako, omogućava nam da se lako toga sjetimo.
Once I started studying this and I started actually thinking about visualizing the visions,
Kad sam počeo to proučavati, kad sam si zamišljao te vizije,
it became very easy to hold them in my mind
bilo mi je lako držati ih u mislima.
and to hold the main point of each vision in my
I
mind.
svaku bitnu značajku za svaku viziju.
Especially when I realized they were in a parallel structure.
Posebno kad sam shvatio da su u paralelnoj strukturi.
So the first vision and the last vision have horses.
Prva i zadnja imaju konje.
There are 4 horses in the first vision, there are 4 chariots in the last vision.
4 konja u prvoj viziji, a 4 kočije u zadnjoj.
At the end of the first vision, in chapter 1, verse 11,
Na kraju prve vizije u chapter 8,
chapter 1, verse 11,
u 1:11,
the horses have been patrolling the earth.
konji patroliraju zemljom,
And verse 11 says, and the earth is peaceful and quiet.
a zemlja je mirna i tiha.
So Zechariah is saying, build the temple.
Zaharija kaže, izgradite hram,
The earth is peaceful and quiet.
zemlja je tiha i mirna.
And from hindsight, we see that historically that was very, very true.
I mi sad, kad gledamo iz ove točke gledišta, znamo da je to istina.
This is 520 BC.
To je 520 godina prije Krista
And Persia dominated everywhere.
i Perzija je dominirala svuda.
They had control of Egypt, they had control of the Greek states in Asia Minor.
Kontrolirali su u Maloj Aziji grčke države i Egipat.
This was unusual for Jewish history.
To je bilo, znači, neobično razdoblje u povijesti Izraela.
Usually they were these major powers and Israel was right in the middle.
Većinom su to bile preigranje između velikih sila s Izraelom u sredini.
But not in this moment of time.
Ali ne u ovom trenutku u vremenu.
The earth is peaceful and quiet.
Zemlja je mirna i tiha.
But it's only going to be that way for 20 years.
Ali tako će biti samo 20 godina.
And then the Greek-Persian wars are going to
I onda
start.
će početi grčko-perzijski rat.
So right now, start building.
Znači sada počnite graditi.
And what they don't know is going to happen is when the letter goes to Darius, can we build?
Ono što oni ne znaju je kad pismo ode Dariju s pitanjem možemo li graditi,
Darius is going to write back and make his officials pay for the building.
Darije će odgovoriti i njegovi će činovnici platiti za izgradnju.
They had no idea how it was going to get built.
Oni ne znaju kako će se to
or
izgraditi.
whether they were going to get halfway through and some army was going to come roaring
I
through and
hoće
tear
li
it down.
izgraditi do pola pa će neka vojska to opet srušiti.
But God knew,
Ali Bog zna.
and He prophesied
I on
peace and quiet,
prorokuje,
build.
gradite jer je mirno i tiho.
The last vision,
Zadnja vizija
so in chapter 6,
u 6. poglavlju,
in verse 8,
u 8. stihu,
it's going to say that God's wrath has gone through the land and He is appeased.
on kaže Božji gnjev ide kroz zemlju i taj gnjev je udovoljen mu je.
Literally, my spirit is at rest.
Znači doslovno moj duh je na miru.
So in the last vision, it's not the nations at rest, it's God at rest.
Znači u tom zadnjem stihu ne samo da su narodi u miru, nego i Bog je u miru.
He has completed His vindication against the nations that had misused Israel.
On je dovršio svoju osvetu nad narodima koji su zlostavljali Izrael.
So that's first and last.
Znači to je prvo i zadnje.
And then there are two pairs of visions.
I onda imamo dva para.
And on the front side,
Na početku
the second vision is about 4 horns.
druga je vizija od 4 roga.
And these are 4 nations that have overwhelmed Israel much more than God desired.
I to su 4 naroda koja su zlostavljala Izrael, ne znam, pritiskala Izrael puno više nego što je Bog to želio.
The most likely suspects
I to su naši uobičajeni osumnjičeni.
are Egypt, Assyria, Babylon, and Persia.
Egipat, Asirija, Babilon i Perzija.
And God says, I am going to vindicate you. I'm going to take care of them.
I Bog kaže, ja ću se osvetiti za vas, ja ću se pobrinuti za njih.
The next vision paired with that, he says there's a man standing over Jerusalem with a measuring line.
A sljedeća vizija koja je s njom uparena je, u njoj vidimo čovjeka koji je s metrom stoji u Jeruzalemu.
And he's going to build.
I on će graditi.
Jerusalem is going to be rebuilt.
Jer Jeruzalem će biti obnovljen.
So chapter 2 verse 5.
U 2. poglavlju 5. stih.
For I, declares the Lord, will be a wall of fire around her, and I will be the glory in her midst.
It's not mine. 5 says, it doesn't mention the word.
Did it mention wall around her?
No. I to se podigao po oči i vidjeti gled čovjeka u ruci mjeračko užas.
Uh-oh, we've got differences.
Okay, it's 9. A ja ću mu, riječi Jahvina, biti ognjen zid unaokolo i slava njegova sred njega.
Super. So God is saying, there is no wall, but don't worry about there being no wall. I'm going to protect you.
Znači, Bog kaže, nema zida, ali ja ću biti vaš zid i ja ću vas štititi.
And the temple will be rebuilt, and I will be present with you.
I hram će biti obnovljen, a ja ću biti prisutan s vama.
And then the two visions on the back side paired with those two visions
A onda na stražnjoj strani dvije vizije koje su uparene s ove dvije
are the weirdest.
su najčudnije.
So the first one is a flying scroll.
A prva je leteći papir, kao pergamen.
And it's got thief on one side and swearing falsely on the other side.
Ima nekog lopova na jednoj strani, a na drugoj strani je lažno zaklinjanje.
And God is saying, I am going to judge corruption in the land.
I Bog kaže, ja ću suditi korupciju u zemlji.
Those who steal.
Oni koji kradu.
And those who lie when they make contracts.
I oni koji lažu kad sklapaju ugovore.
Or who lie when they're under oath and testimony in a court.
Ili kad lažu pod zakletvom na suđenju.
I'm removing that from your midst.
Ja ću maknuti to iz vaše sredine.
And then the next one is about this ephah. It's a bushel basket.
A sljedeća je o efi, o košari koja se koristila za mjeru.
So it contains about 25 kilograms. So
Oko 25 kg.
130 apples.
Znači 130 jabuka.
I think those are big apples.
To su neke velike jabuke bile.
And inside is a woman.
A unutra je u toj košari je žena.
And she's wickedness and she's thrown down.
I ona predstavlja zloću
And then
i bačena je.
two good women, I think, come and grab the basket.
A druge dvije žene dolaze i uzimaju tu košaru.
And they have the wings of a stork.
I imaju rodina krila.
And I have absolutely no idea why.
I nemam pojma zašto.
But they fly the basket off to the land of Shinar.
Ali odlete s tom košarom u zemlju koja se zove, ne znam kako
Shinar is where the Tower of Babel was built.
A to je bilo gdje je izgrađena bila Babilonska kula.
The land of man's self-sufficiency.
Znači, zemlja koja predstavlja ljudsku samodostatnost.
The land where man says, by our own industry, we can equal God.
Zemlja u kojoj ljudi kažu, našim vlastitim naporima ćemo biti jednaki Bogu.
That's that self-centered wickedness which takes God out of the picture.
Skoncentriranost na sebe koja miče Boga iz slike.
And says, we will care for ourselves. We will do it
Mi
ourselves.
ćemo se brinuti za sebe i mi ćemo to sve sami.
So God's removing that spirit.
Bog miče taj duh.
And then we're left with the two central visions.
I ostale su nam dvije centralne vizije.
And the first one, you've met these guys last week. It's about Joshua and Zerubbabel.
Prva je o Zerubabelu i o Ješui koje smo sreli prošli tjedan.
Joshua is the high priest,
Ješua je veliki svećenik,
and Zerubbabel is the governor.
a Zerubabel je guvernator ili
He would
upravitelj.
be king if they were allowed to have one.
I on bi bio kralj da su mogli imati kralja.
He's from the house of David.
Jer je iz Davidove obitelji.
And these are the two leaders in
To
Jerusalem.
su dvojica vođa u Jeruzalemu.
And so we get this vision of Joshua wearing these dirty, ratty old clothes.
Imamo viziju Ješue koji je obučen u zamazanu odjeću.
And God removes the dirty clothes and puts on clean
I
clothes.
Bog miče tu zamazanu odjeću i oblači mu čistu.
So God's purifying the priesthood, and through the priesthood, the whole people.
Bog ga pročišćava i kroz njega, znači, cijeli narod.
And with Joshua, we get a stone with 7 eyes,
I uz njega imamo i kamen sa 7 očiju
and a reference to the branch.
i spominje se branch, kako mi kažem branch, grana.
We'll come back to that. Then with Zerubbabel,
A Zerubabel,
this is the passage we read this morning.
taj smo odjeljak čitali jutros,
We have the menorah.
imamo menoru,
It's a lamp with 7 flames,
to je svijećak sa 7 držača za svijeće
and there are 2 olive trees.
i 2 maslinova drveta.
And fortunately, whenever Zechariah saw these visions,
I na sreću kad je god Zaharija imao te vizije,
he didn't understand them either.
ni on ih nije razumio.
But there was always an angel right there to explain it.
Ali je tu uvijek bio anđeo koji mu je objasnio o čem se radi.
So the 2 olive trees are Joshua and Zerubbabel.
Znači, 2 masline predstavljaju Zerubabela i Ješu.
And the menorah, the 7 flames, are the 7 eyes of God,
A menora sa 7 svijeća zapravo predstavlja 7 Božjih
which
očiju.
does not mean that God has 7
Što
eyes.
naravno ne znači da Bog ima 7 očiju,
It means that his vision is perfect and complete. He sees everything,
nego znači da je njegova da ono što on vidi je savršeno i kompletno, da vidi sve.
which was the same as the 7 eyes in the stone that was in Joshua's vision.
Znači isto kao i tih 7 očiju u kamenu koji je vezan bio za Ješu.
And what he said to Zerubbabel, this is about, you're going to build a temple.
I ono što mu kaže Zerubabelu je ti ćeš izgraditi hram.
In chapter 4, verse 6,
U 4. poglavlju 6. stih.
and it's not going to be by might, it's not going to be by power, it's going to be by my spirit.
I neće biti snagom, niti će biti moći, silom, nego će biti mojim duhom.
And you're going to put a top stone.
I stavit ćeš taj korni kamen.
So Joshua has like the cornerstone,
Ješua ima taj zaglavni,
and Zerubbabel has the capstone.
a Zerubabel ima taj vršni.
You're going to start it,
Započet ćeš
you're going to finish it.
i završit ćeš.
Do not despise the day of small beginnings.
Nemojte prezirati dane skromnih početaka.
Get started.
Započnite.
Those are the visions. Keep your eyes fixed on God.
To su vizije. Držite oči na Bogu.
Get started building the temple of God.
Započnite izgrađivati Božji hram.
Okay, 2 years later,
Nakon 2 godine,
so still in their present,
dakle još uvijek u sadašnjosti,
chapters 7 and 8,
u 7. i 8. poglavlju,
also chiastic.
isto je kajastično.
So it begins with a guy coming, with a bunch of guys coming from Bethel to seek the favor of the Lord.
Isto počinje sa grupom ljudi koji iz Betela dolaze tražiti Božju milost
They're going to ask about fasting.
i pitat će o postu.
It's going to end with God saying, your fasting is going to become a feast.
Završava s Bogom koji kaže vaš post će postati gozba.
And it's not just going to be Jews coming,
I neće biti samo Židovi
but
koji
with
dolaze,
every one Jew that comes to the Lord, he's going to bring 10 non-Jews with him.
već svaki Židov koji dolazi Bogu dovešće sa sobom 10 nežidova.
So these, I guess, kind of innocent guys coming to ask about fasting, and then Zechariah decides to give a rebuke.
I I ovdje neki obični, nevini ljudi dolaze pitati o postu, a Zaharija odluči kritizirati.
And I don't know if the rebuke was towards them or just towards everybody.
I ne znam da to bilo samo njima ili se odnosilo zapravo na sve.
But he says, is your fasting about me at all?
I on kaže, jel se vaš post uopće odnosi na mene?
Or just because you're sad?
Ili zato što ste
Because
tužni?
you don't have a city?
Jer nemate grad?
Or you're just trying to get me to do something for
Ili
you?
pokušavate od mene iskamčiti nešto da za vas napravim?
We can be doing spiritual ritual, religious ritual.
Jer mi možemo imati duhovne rituale,
We can even be building the temple of God.
možemo čak i graditi Božji hram,
We can be at church all the
i
time.
možemo stalno biti u crkvi,
And God not be central to our
a
life.
da nam Bog ne bude centralan u životu.
So Zechariah says, here's another way you can tell if God is central.
Zaharija kaže, evo još jedan način na koji možete vidjeti je li Bog centralan.
And this is the next part of this chiasm.
I to je drugi dio tog kijazma.
Let's read in the Croatian verse 9 and 10 of chapter 7.
Čitajmo 9 i 10 u 7. poglavlju. Ne tlačite udovu ni sirotu, ni došljaka ni uboga i ne snujte u srcu pakosti jedan prema drugom. Ovako govori Jahve nad vojskama. Sudite istinito i budite dobrostivi i milosrdni jedni drugima. Ne tlačite udovu ni sirotu, ni došljaka ni uboga i ne snujte u srcu pakosti jedan prema drugom.
Do not devise evil in your hearts against one another.
Znači nemajte zla i ne smišljajte zlo jedan prema drugom.
Now let's read the parallel verse.
Sad čitamo paralelni stih
This is chapter 8,
u 8. poglavlju,
verse 16 and 17.
16. i 17. stih. A ovo vam je činiti. Govorite istinu jedan drugom. Sudite istinito i miroljubivo na vratima gradskim. Ne snujte jedan drugom u zlo u srcu, ne ljubite lažnu kletvu. Jer sve to ja mrzim, riječ je Jahvina.
Be kind, be compassionate,
Budite suosjećajni, budite dobri.
care for those in need.
Brinite se za one u
Do
potrebi.
not devise evil in your heart against one
Ne
another.
snujte zlo jedni protiv drugih.
Have integrity in your relationship with me.
Imajte integritet u vašem odnosu sa mnom.
Value what I value.
Cijenite ono što je meni važno.
Let your heart be like my heart.
Nek vaše srce bude kao moje.
That's what shows that I'm in the center.
Jer to pokazuje da sam vam ja u
Because
centru.
in your work, at your school,
Jer u školi, na poslu,
in your building, with your family,
u zgradi gdje živite, u obitelji,
in your rest time, in your
kad
entertainment,
se odmarate, kad se zabavljate,
your heart's right there with me.
vaše srce je tamo sa mnom.
So it's not just be about building the temple of God,
I ne radi se samo o gradnji hrama Božjeg,
but do it with a right heart.
već radite se ispravnim stavom srca.
And it's shown practically
A to će se vidjeti praktično.
by how you treat others.
Tako, na način na koji se odnosite prema drugima.
Okay, and so then this chiasm finishes out with, then there's going to be wrath against your enemies.
Kijazam završava tako da će biti gnjev prema vašim neprijateljima,
And goodness towards Israel.
a dobrota prema Izraelu.
And then there are going to be two references to remnant.
I onda dva spominjanja ostatka.
At the beginning of chapter 8, he has this vision of the remnant's going to come back and there's going to be old men and old women sitting in the streets.
I na početku 8.
Well, not
poglavlja
sitting in the streets, sitting outside their houses.
govori o tom ostatku koji će se vratiti i bit će stari ljudi, stari žene i stari muškarci koji sjede ispred svojih kuća.
And little kids playing in the street.
A djeca se igraju na
So it's
ulicama.
this vision of peace
Znači vizija mira
once again in Jerusalem.
ponovno u Jeruzalemu.
And chapter 8, verse 8 is the center of this section.
A u 8. poglavlju 8. stih je centar ovog dijela.
I will bring them back and they will live in the midst of Jerusalem and they will be my people. I will be their God in truth and righteousness.
Ja ću ih dovesti da se nastane usred Jeruzalema i bit će mi narod, a ja ću im biti Bog u vjernosti i pravdi.
We will have relationship.
Bićemo u odnosu,
I will be in their midst.
ja ću biti s njima
And it will be truth and it will be
i bit
righteousness.
će istina i bit će pravednost.
So that's their present vision.
To je vizija za sadašnjost.
We're going to conclude with the future vision.
Završit ćemo s vizijom o budućnosti.
And we don't have time to look at chapters 9 to 14.
Nemamo baš vremena da gledamo na pojedinačna poglavlja.
We're just going to look at 5 verses
Pogledat
quickly.
ćemo samo brzo 5 stihova.
But this is the structures, it's fuzzier structure in these chapters.
Znači u ovim poglavljima malo struktura nije tako jasna.
As it's looking into the future, things are less clear.
Jer pogled u budućnost i stvari su malo manje jasne.
So the structure is kind of like a multi-layer cake.
Ta struktura je više kao torta sa više katova.
So there's cake and filling and cake and filling and
I
cake
ide
and
ono,
filling.
biskvit pa glazura, krema, pa biskvit pa krema, pa biskvit.
And the cake is kind of vanilla chocolate.
A torta je od vanilije čokolade.
So it's partially wrath against the enemies
I dio je, znači jedan je dio gnjev Božji prema
and
neprijateljima,
salvation for Israel.
a drugi je spasenje za Izrael.
And then the filling is questions of leadership.
A krema su pitanja o vodstvu.
And it's either about bad leadership
Znači ili o lošem vodstvu
or about good leadership.
ili o dobrom vodstvu.
Because what they don't have right now
Jer ono što oni sad trenutno nemaju,
is the son of David on the throne.
nemaju sina Davidovog na tronu.
They're going to rebuild the temple.
Oni će izgraditi
Eventually,
hram
they're going to rebuild the walls.
i konačno će izgraditi
The
i zid
cities are going to grow up again.
oko Jeruzalema. I grad će
There'll be
izditi.
old men and old women in the houses and children in the
Biće i
streets.
stari ljudi ispred kuća i djeca na ulicama,
But they will always be ruled by somebody else.
ali uvijek će njima upravljati i vladati
And they
neko
will
drugi.
keep waiting and they're keep waiting and
I
they're keep
nastavit će
waiting
čekati i čekati i čekati
for the king to come.
da dođe kralj.
And because of this vision for the future coming of a leader,
I zbog te vizije dolaska tog vođe,
there's more reference to the Messiah in Zechariah than any other minor prophet.
u Zahariji se onda pojavlja i spominje više puta Mesija.
Those are the 5 verses we're going
U
to look
odnosu
at.
na sve druge male proroke.
So, chapter 9, Zechariah says God is going to bring wrath on your immediate enemies.
U 9. poglavlju Zaharija kaže Bog će donijeti gnjev na vaše susjede koji su vam neprijatelji.
And then listen to what he says in chapter 9, verse 9 and 10.
I onda slušajte što kaže u 9. i 10. stihu, u 9. poglavlju. Klikni iz sve grla kćeri Sionska, viči od radosti kćeri Jeruzalemska. Tvoj kralj se evo tebi vraća, pravičan je i pobjedonosan, ponizan jaše na magarcu, na magaretu, mladetu magaričima.
And 10.
On će istrijediti kola iz Efraima i konje iz Jeruzalema, on će istrijediti luk ubojni. On će navijestiti mir narodima, vlast će mu se proširiti od mora do mora i od rijeke do rubova zemlje.
A humble king is coming.
Dolazi ponizni kralj.
This is not a king that's going to rule from river to river, from Babylon to Egypt.
To nije kralj koji će vladati od rijeke do rijeke ili od Babilona do Egipta,
It's from river to the ends of the earth.
već od rijeke do kraja zemlje.
This is the king who's ruling everywhere.
To je kralj koji svuda vlada.
But it's not going to be so simple.
Ali neće biti tako jednostavno.
Because in chapter 11, we get this vision of the sheep reject the shepherd.
Jer u 11. stihu imamo viziju ovaca koje odbijaju svog pastira.
So let's read chapter 11, verses 12 and 13.
U 12. i 13. stihu kaže ovako: Rekoh im tad, ako vam je to dobro, dajte mi plaću, ako nije, nemojte. Oni mi odmjeriše plaću, 30 srebrnika. A Jahve mi reče, baci u riznicu tu lijepu cijenu kojom su me procijenili. Ja uzeh 30 srebrnika i baci u riznicu u domu Jahve.
The rejection continues in 12, verse
I to
10.
odbijanje nastavlja se u 12. poglavlju 10. stih. A na dom Davidovi i na Jeruzalemce izliču duh milosni i molitveni i gledat će na onoga kojeg su proboli, naricat će na njim kao nad jedincem, gorko ga oplakivati kao prvenca.
And then in chapter 13, verse 1,
I u 13. poglavlju 1. stih
you can hear Jesus in John chapter 7 standing in the temple saying this.
i možete čuti Isusov glas u 7. poglavlju Ivana koji govori ovo.
So 13:1.
13.1. U onaj dan otvorit će se izvor domu Davidovu i Jeruzalemcima da se operu od grijeha i nečistoće.
The fountain.
Izvor.
Yeah. Living water will come out.
Znači, živa voda će izaći iz tog izvora.
But 13:7 has to happen first.
Ali prvo se treba dogoditi ono što piše u 13.7. Probudi se maču protiv mog pastira, protiv čovjeka, moga srodnika, riječ je Jahve nad vojskama. Udari pastira i ovce će se razbjeći, okrenut ću ruku protiv slabića.
The shepherd was struck and the sheep were scattered.
Kad se udari pastira, razbjegnu se ovce.
He was betrayed, he was pierced,
On je izdan i proboden,
but he will reign.
ali će vladati.
Let's finish with 14, verse 7 through 9.
Završit ćemo s 14. poglavljem stihovi od 7 do 9. Biće to dan čudesan, znade ga Jahve, ni dan ni noć. U vrijeme večeri bit će svjetlo. U onaj dan živeće vode poteći iz Jeruzalema, pola k moru istočnom, pola k moru zapadnom. Biće tako ljeti i zimi. I Jahve će biti kralj nad svom zemljom. Sva će se zemlja pretvoriti u ravnicu od Gebe do Rimona Negevskog, a Jeruzalem će se uzvisiti na svom mjestu i bit će nastanjen od vrata Benjaminovih do prvih vrata, to jest od vrata ugaonih do kule Hananeelove do kraljeva tjeska. Opet će se stanovati u njemu i više neće biti prokletstva. Jeruzalem će živjeti u miru.
And so there's this, we're looking towards the future.
Znači gledamo prema budućnosti.
And for us that's become more clear.
I nama se to sad čini jasnije.
There will be a New Jerusalem.
Biće novi Jeruzalem.
And Jesus will dwell as King.
I Isus će prebivati kao kralj.
And God will be in our midst.
I Bog će biti među nama.
And our eyes are lifted forward to that hope, and that hope is our strength.
I naše su oči uprte u tu nadu. Ta nada nam daje snagu.
But we don't live in the future.
Ali ne živimo u budućnosti.
We remember our past, but our eyes are fixed in the present on the God who's with us.
Mi se sjećamo naše prošlosti, a oči su nam uprte na sadašnjost i na Boga koji je s nama.
And He has called us
I on nas je pozvao
to make Him central.
da ga učinimo centralnim.
And if He is central, then we're asking,
I ako nam je on centar, onda pitamo.
how can I help build the temple of the Lord,
Kako ja mogu pomoći izgraditi Božji hram,
the church of God?
Božju crkvu?
And I will not worry about how little I have
I neće me brinuti to koliko malo imam
or how big the task is.
ili koliko je veliki taj zadatak.
We don't despise small beginnings
Zato što ne preziremo skromne početke.
because we see our God,
Zato što vidimo Boga
and whatever we can offer,
i što god možemo ponuditi,
He will take
on će uzeti
and He will bless.
i on će blagosloviti.
That's how this place becomes a special place.
I na taj način ovo mjesto postaje posebno mjesto.
This place does not become a special place by having 5 or 6 people fully invested.
Ovo mjesto ne postaje posebno mjesto tako što je samo 5 ili 6 ljudi potpuno uključeno.
What's special about this place is how many people are asking the question,
Jer ono što je posebno o ovom mjestu je to koliko ljudi pita to pitanje,
what can I offer?
što ja mogu ponuditi,
What one person can I touch?
koju jednu osobu mogu
What way
dotaknuti,
can I serve?
gdje mogu služiti.
God, what small thing do you want me to give
Bože, koju malu stvar želiš da dam,
to build this temple
da izgradim ovaj hram,
right here, right now, this present?
sada i ovdje u sadašnjosti.
I'm not going to get caught in my routine,
Neću se izgubiti u svojoj rutini,
but in my routine, I want to be contributing to you,
već kroz svoju rutinu želim dodavati tebi.
trusting you to take all our small things
I tebi vjerovati da možeš uzeti sve naše male stvari
and make something truly incredible.
i od njih napraviti nešto izuzetno.